Well, sir, there's nothing on earth like a genuine, bona fide, electrified six-car monorail. What I say?
Monorail.
What's it called?
Monorail.
That's right, monorail.
Monorail. Monorail. Monorail.
Hey, how's it going? We are in Giga-Bites Cafe in Atlanta, Georgia, ready for another Dropzone Commander battle report. We set up a table here. We're doing the Monorail mission. Haven't done this one in a while. To review the Monorail mission, there's one objective inside the monorail. To get to the objective, you have to either pull a light dropship up beside the monorail and jump in, or enter the monorail through one of these two stations via a embark action transferring between buildings. The objective inside the monorail is worth 2 points if you own it. It's worth 4 points if you manage to get it out of the monorail at all, but it does not actually have to get off the board. Additionally, the monorail track provides a wall from 2 inches high to 6 inches high. So basically, it's a ribbon of, or like a curtain of AA fire that you cannot shoot through across the entire board. So that gives a dynamic that makes fast movers a little more effective. And then in addition to this objective, it's moving across the board at a rate of 12 inches per turn. And there's 4 focal points, 2 here and 2 here, which are just standard focal points. 1 point if you contest it, an additional 1 point if you control it. And we've also got some new terrain here. Bryan got these road sets and this desert mat, so we kind of did this like barren wasteland, abandoned city motif, which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, we'll be back in a second with our lists. All right, here's my resistance list. I've only played resistance twice before, so I'm not a particularly good resistance player, but hopefully I'll get better with this game. I have a drill, 1 drill. Here's my command unit. It's the Thunderstorm Custom with a level 3 commander. In my armor group, I have 2 squads of 12 rocket technicals inside a Leviathan, also known as the cell phone caddy. I have a unit of gun wagons in a Kraken. I have an infantry squad of 3 squads of 2 bases of resistance fighters in Jacksons inside a Lift Hawk with the AA gun. I have a scout group with 4 free riders in a squad and a Kraken with 2 battle buses full of 2 berserker bases each and a Hellhog.
Alright, so I'm running a Scourge list today, and I don't play Scourge that often, so this should be entertaining. This is my armor battle group with 6 Grav tanks and 3 AA tanks, and of course in the CD rack of death. And I did equip it with the plasma cannons. Then an infantry battle group and some invaders. Then another infantry battle group in an intruder with some more AA. Then a Desolator with a level 3 commander, an intruder with some minders, then another battle group with another intruder, more minders, and some work in progress exotics, and I've forgotten what they're called.
Destroyers.
Destroyers, there we go. So some work in progress destroyers, and see what happens with them.
All right, start of turn 1. Bryan won the roll-off and elected to go first, and neither of my reserves came in.
Alright, so I activated my special group, moved the intruder forward. The destroyers are still embarked, and I moved up the other intruder with the Minder Swarm, and they are also still embarked.
Alright, I activated my scout group. I brought my berserkers on here, and one of the big problems with feral resistance in the monorail mission is that we have no light dropships. So, considering you can find the objective on a 4-up on turn 3, if he wins initiative on turn 3, it's very possible that the destroyers could get in on turn 2, find it on turn 3, get out, and I couldn't really stop them. So that's a problem. So hopefully I can stop them with the Hellhog or something. But in the meantime, the berserkers and the buses are driving towards the station in the middle, and the free riders in the battle group are subterranean.
Alright, so I activated one of my infantry battle groups. I brought the intruder up. The warriors are still staying on board. And then I brought the marauder up, and I jumped out my AAA Grav tanks.
Alright, activated my infantry battle group and flew them straight towards the station in the middle.
Alright, I activated a second infantry battle group, deployed forward, and deployed the invaders off.
Alright, I activated my command group and moved the Thunderstorm 10 inches onto the board here.
Alright, so I activated my command battle group, brought the commander on at this focal point, and then here at the other end I brought the Minder Swarm in and deployed the Minders.
Alright, activated my armor group and brought on the gun wagons. Right there.
Alright, so I deployed my armored group, and I went ahead and deployed my grav tanks and my AA.
Right, I deployed my Leviathan and all my technicals, just drove it on right here. Start of turn 2, I won the roll-off for initiative, and I played an underground monorail card between these two buildings. And my drill came out of reserve, so that's over there, and tragically my Hellhog did not, which is a big problem. Alright, activated my infantry group, deployed all 3 Jacksons behind the building here, disembarked all the troops, and Lifthawk's right there. But because of the monorail, like sort of curtain of fire rule that you can't shoot through, I can't actually shoot his dropship, unfortunately.
Alright, so I activated the special battle group, deployed the destroyers into the train, moved up their dropship to where the rail is eventually going to be, then moved the minders, went ahead and deployed them, and then took a pot shot at the Jackson. Hit it, but didn't do any damage.
I also reaction fired his intruder when it came across the tracks and hoped that I could blow it up, but since this hits on a 4, they needed 6s, didn't hit it. Decided not to reaction fire with this. Activated my gun wagons and moved them up 10 inches.
Alright, so I activated my second infantry battle, or one of my infantry battle groups, had the intruder drop off the warriors in here, then it came around here, took a pot shot, hit it but didn't do any damage. Then had the AA unit that was attached to it, had their dropship come around, fire a shot, actually hit it and did some damage.
Damage.
Right, and then ran up my AA, took a couple of shots at the hovercraft, managed to hit it once but didn't do any damage.
Activated my command group, moved 6 inches so I could still fire, and unloaded the plasma cannons on his Reapers and killed 2.
Alright, so I activated my command group, moved the minder swarm forward, had their intruder come around, take another pot shot at the drill. Then I did super aggressive with my commander, moved him up, did the wide ion storm. Managed to not hurt any units, but did manage to damage all the buildings around him.
Activated my armor group, decided to move it only 6 inches so I could get some AA fire. Fired all the AA guns and killed 3 minders, and also shot one of them at the intruder, but that one didn't kill.
Alright, so I activated my armor group and I played Relentless Advance on it, which basically gives +3 to their movement.
And their move and fire, crucially.
And their move and fire.
Yep.
And I was able to trace from my Spear of Coherency from the minders to here. Whipped all the tanks around and managed to get 5 of them to line up in shots. Got 3 hits and was able to do double damage with 2 of them, so I was able to take out the drill.
And I was delaying my action here. What was going on was the drill was this side of the building, and I didn't know which side he was going to come around, right or left. So I wanted to make him make his move first, so then I could disembark the free riders on the other side and keep them out of danger, because they have to wait. They can't fire the turn they disembark. And that would have been fine if he could only move 9 inches, because at most he would have gotten like 2 shots. But you can see that extra 3 inches there made all the difference, and it, unleashed this barrage, which completely blew up the drill. So now all my free riders are stuck underground, and they don't count as kill points as per the rulebook, but I don't get them either. So
Yay.
That is not good for me. And what else happened?
Right, so I just moved the rest of these grav tanks up forward and moved the despoiler up forward. And that was it for that armor group.
So now that the free riders are gone, I activated my berserkers, which is the other part of the scout squad. They moved up, the buses got out here, and here, come around the table. I want to show people. We got the train station, and now we have 2 buses and 3 transports there. It's like the ground transportation section picking people up.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the monorail station. And then I shot the hull-mounted cannon on the Kraken over at this Reaper, and I missed.
Alright, as you can see, there's a lot of infantry in one building there.
Yep.
Alright, so I activated my other infantry battle group, moved forward the intruders, and disembarked some more troops.
Yeah, it's going to get messy.
Yeah.
All right, start of turn 3. I won the initiative roll-off, and I don't think anyone played any cards. My Hellhog is now out of reserve. All right, well, I activated my Hellhog because killing this intruder was going to be extremely important in case he extracts the objective, and I rolled a 1, so no Hellhog. So pretty complicated activation here. I moved my lift hawk up here because I really wanted to shoot down his intruder, and I had the AA gun on it. Put that there. And he chose not to reaction fire with the Reapers. I completely missed with the gun, shot the missile at the invader. That didn't do anything either. Then, because the lift hawk had the squad of the resistance fighters that was in here, that triggered the CQB with the berserkers and his Scourge warriors that were in here. And these guys had not yet hit, they're still in the train, which counts as a separate building. So we triggered that. I allocated my 2 berserker bases to repel his 2 warrior squads. The other 3 squads, since it was their activation, went ahead and used the opportunity to take the underground monorail into this building. So they are now in this building over here. We fought the CQB. The berserkers managed to kill all 6 warrior bases, and in response, he killed an entire squad of berserkers and then did 4 damage to the other one. Highly unequal amounts of damage from his squads. And then my jacks and APCs moved 6 inches over here. And that is the activation.
Alright, so I activated my armor group and has the despoiler take a shot at the building, all the tanks take a shot at the building. Did a fair amount of damage and was able to take out one of the infantry bases and damage another one. Then I whipped
14 damage to the building.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then whipped the Reapers around and was able to take out the lift hawk.
Activated my Leviathan, moved it up 10 inches. Decided not to try to fire at anything by moving 6 because this monorail would have blocked line of sight there. So just full move.
Alright, so I activated my command battle group. I had the intruder for the Minder Swarm take a pot shot at the building. It damaged it some more. Took out a base.
2 guys.
And then I just had my commander retreat over here.
Okay, activated my scout group. Just minorly repositioned the buses so that I can coordinate a quick hop in, get in the hovercraft next turn.
Alright, I activated the infantry battle group. All their infantry has been killed, so I just put the invaders back on the Marauder and moved it back. The Marauder took a shot at the building and actually missed it. And this lone Reaper over here just retreated back over.
Activated my armor group here with the gun wagons and moved up 10 inches.
Alright, so I activated my other infantry battle group. Its intruder shot at the building, hit it, but managed to do no damage. And the infantry they were carrying, they're just hanging out on the train.
Yeah, I don't want to really fight those berserkers.
No.
Activated my command group, moved the Thunderstorm up 10 inches. Started turn 4, Bryan won the roll-off, and nobody played any cards.
Alright, so I went ahead and activated my special battle group. It had the intruder over here. They and the destroyers went off the board with the objective. And then the intruder carrying the Minder Swarm took a shot at the building, hit it, but didn't do any, did do damage the building, but no falling mason.
I activated my infantry squad. They were in this building because if I had won initiative, I could have gone to the wall, small arms his transport there with the objective in it. And that would have forced, if I'd killed it, it would have forced him to pick it up with the hunters, who then would have had to drive off the board with the whole squad, which meant that I probably wouldn't have to deal with them until the very end of the game, potentially, which would be a big disadvantage. He won the initiative, so he got off the board, and they just took the monorail back to this building, back to safety. So infantry in there, and their Jacksons moved another 6 inches over here.
Alright, so I activated my armor group. The despoiler came forward, took a pot shot, did 1 point of damage. The Reapers pulled back, and the Hunters moved forward, but they're out of range to shoot.
Activated my command group, activated the Thunderstorm, shot all 4 plasma cannons at that Reaper there. Needed 4s to hit, got 0 hits and 2 1s, and managed to damage myself, so I'm now down to 8 damage points.
Alright, so I activated my command battle group, moved the Desolator up, did nothing over here against the his hovercraft.
Used the focus beam and rolled a 1.
And then moved this Minder up to take a pot shot here and missed.
Activated my gun wagon unit. Gun wagons moved up, got out, and they used the hovercraft rule so they can fire the turn they get out, and shot the Desolator, did 2 damage. And the Kraken fired its cannon at the Reaper and missed.
Alright, so I activated my infantry battle group. I brought the intruder that was over here all the way over to here, jumped the infantry into it, and then the surviving Reaper moved over here, took a pot shot, and missed. Last thing I did was move the Marauder over here and took a pot shot. And
Alright, activated my Berserkers. They got in the buses. Buses got in the hovercraft. Hovercraft moved 5 inches, and they're over here. Alright, activated my armor group. Leviathan moved up. All the technicals disembarked, and despite their numbers, they're actually not that dangerous against the Scourge. Managed to kill 2 hunters. All the AA guns fired over here at the despoiler. and I rolled awful. I mean, I needed 3s to hit, had 8 shots, got 3 hits, and did 3 damage to it. So it's got 2 damage. All right, flew my Hellhog on, went into hover mode, shot its Cobra missile at the despoiler because it's a side arc shot, blew it up for 2 damage. That's dead. Shot the Satan chain gun at the hunter there, shot all the shots into it, rolled just awful. Needed 4s, and I had 8 shots, and I got 2 hits, and I needed a 5 up because of the focus rule and energy 8, and I didn't roll it. So no damage from the chain gun. Start of turn 5. I won the initiative roll off. I played a field repair on my commander, so he's back to full. And
Yeah, and I also played the field repair on my commander.
okay, so he's back up to 5. Activated the Hellhog. I flew him backwards so that I could get out of range of his Reapers if he moves them forward around the corner there. And I shot that missing tank right there with the chain gun. This is my last shot with the chain gun, and it died.
All right, so I activated my armor group. At the hunters, retreat back here. They managed to kill 1 technical on the way out, and left the Reapers over here.
All right, I activated my infantry. They all went to the wall here, and small arms his intruder down. Got a safe landing, so the infantry are down there. Oh, and moved the Jacksons over here onto the focal point.
All right, so I activated my command, went back, did the energy storm, managed to kill 1 of his technicals or gun wagons and damage the other, missed everything else, and then moved the minders up to shoot at the hovercraft and did no damage.
All right, activated my command group. Played the Strike Masters card, which gives it move and fire value equal to its movement, so it can move the full 10, still fire the plasma cannons. Moved up, shot the Reaper, got 3 hits on it this time, and blew it away.
All right, so I activated my special group and brought the destroyers out of reserve, and they just flew in and jumped into this building. And then miner swarm over here, the intruder took a shot at the building and actually managed to damage
2 different bases.
2 different bases.
For 2 each. Really good shot. Activated my gun wagons. They shot the Desolator, did 1 damage, and the hovercraft shot the building, did 2 damage to it, and caused 1 falling masonry, and he failed his passive, but I did not roll the 5 I needed to actually hurt the destroyers.
All right, this Marauder that was over here with the intruders just moved its full distance, and it kept the intruders on it, and that's it.
So they can challenge the focal point. I activated my Berserker squad and moved him over here.
All right.
Yeah. All right, activated my armor group. Technicals all drove around there, shot at the hunters, killed 1 more, and the Leviathan killed an intruder over here, killed a minder here, and then drove forward 6 inches. Start of turn 6, I won the roll-off, and I played Supercharged, which gives all my wagons and technicals extra movement, and on a D3 plus 1 extra movement. On a roll of 3 on the D3, they can't move next turn, but it's turn 6, so it doesn't matter. So I got 2 inches of extra move on the wagons, and 2 inches on the far technical squad, and 4 inches on the near technical squad. And Brian did not play any cards.
All right, so Cameron was going to activate his armor battle group, but I played quick thinking, and I prematurely activated my commander, and I did my ion storm, and I managed to kill 1 of his gun wagons, damage both of his hovercraft, and surprisingly missed the building in which my destroyers are.
Man, it was a perfect shot.
So that was an excellent shot as far as I'm concerned.
And slightly reduced that incoming AA fire. Activated my armor group, as I was originally going to. The Leviathan fired over here, finished off those 3 minders, then moved in, and the technicals finished off the 2 hunters over here, and Supercharged moved and got all close to the focal point, so they're all in range.
All right, so my armor group consolidated around the focal point, fired some technicals, wound up killing 1 with the Reapers, which are terrible at shooting ground targets.
All right, I activated my Hellhog, which moved 6 inches, and if you're flying off the board, you have to shoot your missile before you fly, and unfortunately the Cobra missile is a 12-inch range, so I couldn't hit the Desolator, so instead I shot the Marauder, did a point of damage, and flew off the board.
All right, so I activated my infantry battle group, dropped off the intruders just to contest the focal point, fired at the gun wagon, actually managed to kill it, and then had the this Marauder, which was formerly carrying the Reavers, fire at this hovercraft, and it missed.
All right, I activated my Thunderstorm command group. It blew up the 2 invaders he just dropped, and then moved forward a couple inches.
All right, so destroyers activated. They actually went to the wall, fired at the Kraken here, Actually managed to put a fair amount of damage on it.
5 damage points with that charged blast. Watch out for that.
Yeah.
I'm still alive. It's going to be fine, but that is really dangerous.
Yeah. And then over here, the intruder that was carrying the miner swarm in that battle group came forward, shot at the Jackson and missed it. If I had thought about it, I actually would have brought it in on the previous turn, and I might have been able to do something more, but oh well.
Yeah. All right, we're pretty, just finishing up here. I moved my infantry over here, moved my berserkers over here onto the focal point, and his infantry were hanging out here. They could get in the building or something, but basically done. So I'll see you in a second for the recap. All right, end of game. So let's go over everything. He got the objective off of the monorail quite early in the game. That's 4 points for him. The Scourge contested this point here for 1 point, so that's 5. And they actually won this focal point just barely by having those destroyers come back on. It ended up being 295 points to 283 points. So it's even the fact that he killed that one last gun wagon meant that he won that focal point instead of lost it.
Yeah.
But he won that one, so that's 2 more points, so 7 points for the Scourge. For the Resistance, I got this one uncontested for 2. I got this one uncontested because flyers don't count for 2. I got this one for 2 more. And then I contested this one, so that's 1. So I also had 7 points. So it came down to kill points. I guess we just look over here for all the stuff he killed. Killed some berserkers, and the drill, and these 3 gun wagons, and a Jackson, and 2 rocket technicals, and 2 bases of resistance fighters, and a lift hawk for 340 points. And I killed all this. We didn't add it all up, but I did end up winning on kill points. So tie. Kill point, just barely managed to win the mission. I love the Monorail mission. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite missions, certainly one of my favorite missions. This is the first time that I've seen anyone get the objective off without getting into an extended CQB all the way along the monorail itself. So
And the reason for that is that Feral Resistance have no light dropships. And this is exactly the problem. You got 2 squads in on turn 2.
Yeah.
You found it on turn 3.
Yeah.
You won initiative, and you escaped.
Yeah.
And I did everything I can. I was trying to get the Hell Hog on, but I rolled a 1. And I had my Lift Hawk go suicide, try to blow you up. Did that. Didn't kill you. Had all my guys monorail over there. And if I had won initiative on turn 4, they could have gone out the windows and blown up the intruder, but I didn't win initiative there. So I was doing everything I could to try to stop him from the objective, but I just couldn't do it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so it ultimately came down to kill points.
Or focal points.
Focal points, yeah. And being able to bring the destroyers back out of reserve, which was basically a lucky roll, and getting them into this building to win this focal point definitely helped me. When Cameron had jumped all of his infantry into here, I made it a mission to try and take down this building, and he eventually jumped out and went back to the train station. If I had been thinking about it a little bit more, I probably should have just gone ahead and finished the destruction of the building. That way he couldn't have gotten back over here. I don't think it would have mattered in the end, because he still would have had more stuff over here. But what might have made the difference is when I came around the building and I knew his hovercraft was going to deploy around here someplace, either on one side of the building or the other, if I did not get in the first round of shooting, I was eventually going to lose my entire armor group. And when I moved up, I was just out of range, and so just overwhelmed with numbers no matter how hard I tried to retreat. If I had instead stayed where I was and gone ahead and brought the building down, it wouldn't have mattered, because I could have continually moved around. I could have stayed over here out of sight and kept moving around the building where he would not have been able to shoot at me or shoot at me as much.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that was probably going to be mine regardless.
yeah, it may very well have been
Yeah.
just because the sheer amount of points that you have over here. But those technicals, while they are cheap, they just overwhelmed the hunters, which are okay tanks, but they're not spectacular. They're not meant for a stand-up fight.
Yeah. Let's see. I kind of knew in this mission that it was going to be really tough to win the monorail objective. So I was trying for that from the beginning, but I was kind of planning from the start that I might need to push really hard for both focal points. And in turn 1, when we were deploying our units, what I really wanted to do was get all my AA on the side of his Desolator. And unfortunately, because of the way the deployment was working, I had to put one of my AA groups down before the Desolator came in, and I ended up, I think, putting the Leviathan on this side, and then he put the Desolator on that side. So all I had to shoot at were the gun wagons, and I knew that was going to be an uphill battle to try to kill the Desolator. As it was, they did 3 points of damage. The Hellhog might have gotten another missile off, but it wouldn't have killed the Desolator. So I needed a little more AA. This is only, I've only played Resistance a couple times. This double hovercraft list seems to be pretty darn good. The only thing I'd change, the first time I played it, I just made really dumb mistakes with the Hellhog, and it died and did basically nothing. This time I was a little smarter with the Hellhog, got a little unlucky, but it just doesn't seem to be performing quite at its cost. I don't know if you'd agree with that statement or not. What I really think I need is to swap the Hellhog out and find some points to get a unit of 2 Zhukovs in here and bring those in a Lift Hawk. And I think that would just bring a little more AA to the list, and that's probably what it needs as a tweak right now. So I'll probably try that next. How about your Scourge list? You haven't played Scourge in a really long time.
Yeah, I have not. If I could get in some artillery, I would probably try to. I've forgotten the name of the unit. I believe it's called the Annihilator.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Get some of that in to take care of this massive technicals.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant against the technicals.
Yeah, that would probably be the only thing I would change.
Or if you were able to line up your Desolator with the technicals, that would also be helpful, probably.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, love the Monorail mission. We should run this more often. And even though the Resistance have a huge disadvantage,
It's very winnable.
it's still winnable, I think. You definitely got to plan realize you have that disadvantage and plan around it, but clearly it's still winnable.
Oh, yeah, and...
Oh, the drill.
The drill, yes. The drill, taking out the drill and being able to take out the drill was huge for me because it bloody free riders.
Yeah, I mean, I lost, I don't know how many points, probably like 150 points worth of free riders, just had to stay off the board. And
Yeah.
thank goodness they didn't count as kill points.
Yeah.
Because that would have
That
really
might have swung
hurt.
the game.
Yeah, it might have swung the game. But yeah, I by the end of the game, I'd forgotten the list even had the free riders in it. If I had had those free riders running around blowing stuff up, I probably would have won the tank battle even more decisively.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think this list just needs a little more AA, and it'll be pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching.
I swear it's Springfield's only choice. Throw up your hands and raise your voice.
Monorail!
What's it called?
Monorail!
Once again.
But Main Street's still all cracked and broken. Sorry, Mom. The mob has spoken.
Monorail! Monorail! Monorail!
Mono, don't